Alright, so what up, guys? I told myself I wasn't gonna make another one of these videos just because it's super awkward for me, but my boy Dustin Williams and a few other people I watch on YouTube, they do like these kind of install videos, and like I did the one with my shifter a while ago, and I guess it did alright with like views wise. So I'm gonna do another one today, but I'm gonna show you what I'm doing today in a little bit, in like a few seconds. But the last time I did this video, my car was completely different. So that was like probably a year and a half ago that I did the hybrid shifter install. So I'm gonna show you guys my car, that it's changed since like a year and a half ago. So this is like one of my most anticipated mods that I've ever done to the car, and I can't wait to finally have them on the car. So I'll show you guys the car and then we'll get started. Alright, so you guys probably saw the car last when I had it wrapped. It was wrapped black rose. Nothing's really changed in the front. I still have the Asia front lip. I still have the NT03s. I'm pretty sure I still had those in that video. But the car got fully resprayed. I got the Type R skirts. I got rid of the Mugen ones. I got FD2 rear bumper. It's a leaf right here. Resprayed the trunk because it was black underneath the wrap. Still have the wing. So car got resprayed. And then I'll show you the inside. I don't have that K-tune shift knob anymore, so I'm rocking the full hybrid setup there. Hybrid short shifter with the 15th anniversary Maxim shift knob. Interior's kind of the same. I got the start button. I don't know if I had that, but I have that. And I'll show you the engine bay. We got the hybrid dipstick, the oil cap. I got the fuel rail. I've had that. I've had the intake. I have the radiator cap. I got the shifter cable bushings. Got the little sock there. That's about it. Like nothing really too crazy in the engine bay. So now on to what we're doing today. This is what we're installing today on the car. My brakes have been bad for probably a year. Like I replaced the pads. I still have like the old Rotors, but like they're not the greatest brakes. I mean, they work, you know. I'm not saying I'm driving around with like terrible brakes, but they're good brakes. But like, look at my calipers. They're ugly, so ugly. Everything else on the car is super mint almost, but the brakes, they're terrible. So gonna be installing these on the car. Super hyped because Brembo's, like, come on. So I got a bunch of stuff to do the whole conversion. This is a TL Type S brake caliper. They come stock on the TL Type S Brembos. So I got them sandblasted, powder coated Phoenix yellow, as close as you can get to Phoenix yellow. And then I got a OEM TL Type S brake master cylinder. These are the reservoirs. I took them off. This other one's for my friend, but he has to come pick it up. And then I have these adapters for the brake lines to go inside the, like I have already, right there. So you have to use that for it to fit on my car. So that's why you have to run these. I'm not sure. I heard you have to use these. I'm gonna, you know, let you guys know like if I use them or not. But you know, if I don't use them, or if I, like, you know, if I didn't need them, I'm gonna let you guys know. but I was told that I need them, so I bought them. Now I got a bunch of other stuff. I'm gonna lay everything out and then I'm gonna come back. Alright, so this is all the rest of the stuff that I needed for the brake conversion. So I got black zinc slotted rotors. I got these Aerogenics rotor spacers, because to make it work on this car, this is just what I was told, so I'm just passing the message along. So this is what I was told. So you pretty much you buy these are like 5mm or something, and when you put them on the car, these go first, and they sit behind the rotor to space out the rotor so that you know, this is what I was told. So I'm doing it like I was told, like from friends online, HN forum and stuff like that. So this is what I was told. So once I put it together, I'm gonna see if it works, obviously. So some ceramic pads, stainless steel brake lines, extended studs so I could run it safely with the spacers, a bunch of OEM seals, bolts for the calipers, some brake hardware. Yeah, these are caliper bolts. I got seals right here. Shout out to my Honda plug shifty. But yeah, so that's pretty much everything, minus one rotor that's in there. Alright, I guess I'll start taking the wheels off the car and we'll get started. I'm waiting on John and George to come through because I have no idea how to change a brake master cylinder. So wait on them and I'll start taking off the wheels and jacking up the car. Alright, so far we got 4 extended studs in. I removed the dust shield. Probably not going to put one back on. But yeah, we have one more that I have to put in. And then got to drill out the hub for where the brake caliper bolts up to 9/16. And then put the rotors on and the spacers and then bolt everything back up. New brake lines, all that shit. So I'll update you when we get that far. Alright, so we're putting in some brake lines. They unbolt from right there with a 10mm wrench from right here. And then there's a C-clip that you pry out. I already put it back in with the new line. New lines are here. So I'm gonna put these in and then start on the other side until I'm ready to drill these out, because I needed a drill, so Jonathan went to go get one. So once we do that, this side should be ready to put everything back on, and then do the brake master cylinder after we do the other side, and I'll update you guys when that happens. Alright, so after we drilled out the hub to 9/16, put the rotor spacers on, now we're putting the rotor on. Like so. Now I had to get the rotors machined here to like 3 inches, 0.005, so that the rotors have to be machined in the center bore so that the rotor spacers fit flush for the hub centric ring. So yeah. Damn, them things look good. We're just doing a little test fit before we actually bolt it all up. So this side's pretty much finished up. Brake lines inside the caliper. Just putting the brake pads in. And then this side is done. Got to do the other side, and then we're going to work on the brake master cylinder. Alright, so this side's all bolted up. Brake lines attached to the caliper. I had to run a wheel spacer because my wheels do not fit the brakes, unfortunately. So this side's bolted up. We're just bolting up the other side, putting the pads in, brake lines in, and then we're gonna put the spacers on, which are right here. And then once I have that, then we go on to the master cylinder, which is right here. So that'll be next after we finish this side of the brakes. Now we're unbolting the brake lines from the brake master cylinder so we can put the other one in. Alright, so we got the stock brake master cylinder out. It was two 12mm bolts that bolted into the car, and then the lines are 12 as well. And then it should come right out, and there's a screw holding on the reservoir that bolts in right here. So yeah, pretty straightforward. And then we're over here putting the new one in. I don't know if you can see, but he's putting the new one in because he knows how to do it better than me. So. Damn, my pants are like falling down to the Alright, so the calipers are on. The brake master cylinder is in. We're just bending the line so that way it can be bolted in to the actual brake master cylinder. And then once that's done, we're gonna bleed all the brakes and then test it out, make sure everything works. But can't thank these guys enough.
I'm just gonna keep
George,
them up so it ends up with like some more of these.
George and Jonathan over there for helping me out, because I wouldn't be able to have done most of this stuff if it wasn't for them. So, but they in. Alright, what's up guys? This is 2 days later because it was raining the last like hour we were working on the car. So I left off when we were putting the brake fluid in the brake master cylinder. After that we bled the brakes and then it started pouring. So I couldn't film anything, but I got the brakes on the car, we bled everything. Had to throw 20mm spacers because I can't fit these wheels with the brakes without running spacers. So I'm running 20mm spacers in the front and nothing in the rear, so it looks kind of odd. But this is just temporary because I'm getting new wheels. But I'm gonna go drive to my parents' house, jack up the car, take off a wheel, and just kind of step you guys through like what I did. So, alright, so I'm gonna quickly go over everything that I did. So first, took off my stock caliper. It's 2 bolts in the back. I'm pretty sure they're 17s. They're 2 17s, break them free, take the caliper off, let it like hang in the back or whatever. Then take the rotor off. I cut my dust shield off, so I didn't have to take my hub off, so I could put the extended studs in, because there was no room with the dust shield in the way. I just cut it out. I could always buy another one. Some of you might say, "Oh, that's stupid. You should have done it the right way." You know, it's not a big deal. It's just the dust shield. Everything's gonna get dirty anyways. So I cut it off, put the extended studs in, put the spacer, that Aerogenics 5mm spacer that goes behind the rotor, that spaces it out enough so that it lines up bolted with the caliper bolted in, everything. We test fitted that 2 days ago, so it fits. Everything's dirty right now because I've been driving the car. They perform amazing, by the way. So after you put the spacer on, I put the rotor on, bolt the caliper up, throw the pads in with the brake hardware. The 2 pins go right there with the clip that holds the caliper, the brake pads in. Also, I installed stainless steel brake lines. I mean, this is like kind of optional, but like you should just upgrade it anyways. So it's there's a clip. That clip gets pried out with a screwdriver, like a flathead. That bolt is a 10. That one is a 17, I believe. Pretty sure it's a 17. So you just kind of like counter, you know, loosen it with the 10 at the top, and then that bolts in there with the C-clip with a new line. I zip tied it because I don't know where my bolts are, so that works. And then there's a banjo bolt on the back side of the caliper. Let me see if I can get this in there so you can see. My camera's too big, but there's a bolt right there. Alright, I don't know if you guys can see, but there's a banjo bolt right here, and then there's 2 crush washers in between the caliper, the bolt, the brake line, and the bolt, and then it bolts in. So from there, it's done pretty much. Rotor's on, everything's bolted up. Double check all your bolts, make sure nothing's leaking. Then we did the same for the other side, and then we did the brake master cylinder. So now for the brake master cylinder, as I showed you guys before, my stock one was down. So this was at an A, or this was pointed up, and this line was pointed like bent to a certain way up. So what you have to do when you put it in, it's 12mm bolts for the lines, and then the actual master cylinder, and then this gets put on the reservoir that attaches to this, that gets put on that, and you have to bend the lines slowly to get it to line up with this brake master cylinder from the TL Type S. Everything that I did with this brake conversion is TL Type S. The calipers are from OEM from a TL Type S. The rotors, TL Type S rotors. Brake pads are from a TL Type S. Brake lines are from a Civic. The spacers are from Aerogenics. I will link everything in the description where you can get it. Well, I mean, it's your choice where you get the rotors and the pads, and the calipers, but I will link the spacers in the description. I will list everything that you need to do this conversion in the description. So, alright, so all that being said, if you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, watch my other install video that was probably not as good as this one. I am not that good behind the camera. I'm still new to doing install videos, but I will try and do more in the future. I do have to do my headliner, which is sagging really, really bad. So maybe I'll do a video on that in like the next couple weeks after this video comes out, see how it does. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to message me on both of my Instagrams, That Silver Eighth, which is for my car, and then my photography, which is TMASS, TMASSS. So you can message me on either or. I'll answer any questions you have, because I asked a ton of questions before I even started this. So I will answer any questions you guys have. That's the end of the video. Peace.